Hello viewers, welcome again to example 5 on the simultaneous equations that I started with you in the previous videos. In the previous videos, we started learning about simultaneous equation and we've solved some questions on it using the substitution method. Okay, in the first video, I explained to you that under the simultaneous equation, we have many methods of solving it. Okay, we have the graphical method, we have the elimination method, and also the substitution method. Okay, so in the previous videos we learned about the substitution method of solving simultaneous equation. Okay, we've done a detailed explanation on it, and also we've solved some examples on it as well in the previous videos, and I hope you understood it and you enjoyed the lesson as well. So this is a continuation, and in this video I'm going to teach you about the elimination method of solving simultaneous equation. Okay, we've already learned about the substitution method of solving simultaneous equation. Now I want to teach you the elimination method of solving simultaneous equation. Okay, as you can see from the board, I've written elimination method on the board. Okay, and you can also see that I have an example on the board that I want to solve with you. Okay, this is example 5. It means we've already done example 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the previous videos. Okay, using the substitution method. Okay, so with this example 5, I'm going to use it to teach you the elimination method. Okay, so before we go ahead and solve the example that I have on the board, I'm going to do a little explanation on the elimination method. Okay, so that you get a good understanding. Then we'll proceed and solve the example that I have on the board. Okay, so now when we speak of the elimination method of solving simultaneous equation, okay, it simply means that we are going to eliminate one of the variables in the given equation. Okay, so that it will help us to be able to solve for the other variable. Okay, I'm going to repeat it one more time. So with the elimination method of solving simultaneous equation, it's just a process of making sure that you eliminate one of the variables in the given equations. Okay, so that you have only one variable left in it, so that you will be able to solve for the value of that variable. Okay, and after you've gotten the value for that particular variable, then you use it to find the other variable as well. Okay, so that's it about the elimination method. Okay, I hope the explanation is clear enough and you understand it up to this point. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do the elimination method. Okay, it's very simple, nothing difficult about it. So now let's go ahead and read the question that I have on the board. Okay, and I'll use it to explain it to you. Okay, so example 5, it says find the values of s and y if s plus 2y equals to 5 and 2s plus y equals to 4. Okay, so we have to solve for the values of s and y in the given equation. Okay, and we are going to use the elimination method. Okay, so now as I explained to you from the previous videos, okay, we pick the equations given, then we label it. Okay, that's the first step. Okay, so let me write down my solution. Okay, and let's pick the equations and label it. Okay, so when I pick the first equation, I'll label it as equation 1. Then I'll pick the second equation also, I'll label it as equation 2. Okay, so I'm going to have my s plus 2y equals to 5, and I'll label it as equation 1. Okay, then I'll pick the 2s plus y equals to 4, and I'll label it as equation 2. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to go through the elimination process to solve this simultaneous equation. Okay, I've explained to you that the elimination method simply refers to a way of eliminating one of the variables from the equations. Okay, so that it will be left with only one variable in it. Then we'll solve and get the value for it. Then after getting the value for that variable, we'll go and substitute that value into any of the equations to find the other variable as well. Okay, so that's it about the elimination method. Okay, so now for you to achieve that, for you to be able to eliminate any of the variables, okay, so you can choose to eliminate s or you can choose to eliminate y, any of it that you want, okay. But the question will help you know what to do, whether you are supposed to start by eliminating s or eliminating y, okay. The nature of the question will guide you to know what to do, okay. So now, if I look at the equations given, okay, for you to be able to eliminate any of the variables, okay, you have to make sure that the coefficients of the variables are the same. That's the condition, okay, very important. So don't forget that. For you to be able to apply the elimination method so that you can eliminate one of the variables from the given equation, you have to make sure that the coefficients of the variables that you want to eliminate, they are the same, okay. So now, when I look at the s here, the coefficient of it is 1, and I look at the s which is here, okay, the coefficient is 2. Okay, I'm going over one more time. Okay, so looking at the first equation, I'm looking at the variable s in the first equation. Okay, you can see that the coefficient is 1. If there's no specified number there, it means the coefficient is 1. Okay, and looking at the variable s in the second equation also, you can see that the coefficient of it is 2. Okay, and I've said that for you to apply the elimination method, you need to make sure that the coefficients of the variables that you want to eliminate, they are the same. Okay, so in this equation, I want to try to eliminate s from it. Okay, so I have to make sure that the coefficient of the s here and the s which is here, they are the same. Okay, I hope the explanation is clear enough up to this point. Okay, so we need to make sure that the coefficient of this s is the same as the coefficient of this s, okay, before we can go through the elimination process. Okay, now if someone wants to eliminate y instead, it's the same process. You have to make sure that the coefficient of the y which is in this equation 1 is the same as the coefficient of the y which is in this equation 2. Okay, you can see that the coefficient of this y in the equation 1 is 2 and the coefficient of this y in the equation 2 is 1. Okay, so you have to do something to it to make sure that the coefficients are the same before you can eliminate it. Okay, that's if you want to eliminate y. If you want to eliminate s also, it's the same process. You need to make sure that the coefficient of the s here is the same as the coefficient of the s which is here before we can go through the elimination process. Okay, I hope the explanation is clear enough up to this point. Okay, so now I want to eliminate s. Someone can also choose to eliminate y. We will get the same answer. Okay, but I want to eliminate s first. Okay, in this given equation, I want to eliminate s. Okay, so now what I will do is to make sure that the coefficients of the s here and the s which is here are the same. Okay, so now you can see that the coefficient of the s here is 2, but the coefficient of this s here is 1. They are not the same. So for me to make sure that they are the same, I have to multiply the equation 1 by 2. I hope you agree with me. When I multiply the equation 1 by 2, I will get the coefficient of this s to be 2, which will be the same as the coefficient of this s which is here, which is also 2. Then we can go through the elimination process. Okay, so we are going to multiply equation 1 by 2, okay, so that we can get the coefficient of this s to be the same as the coefficient of this s. Okay, so if someone is choosing to eliminate y, it's the same process, checking the coefficient of the y which is here, it is 2, and the coefficient of the y which is here, it is 1. So the person needs to make sure that the coefficient of this y is the same as the coefficient of this y which is here. Okay, so the person also needs to multiply equation 2 by 2. Okay, so you multiply equation 2 by 2 so that you can get the coefficient of this y to be the same as the coefficient of this y. Okay, because when you multiply equation 2 by 2, you will get this y to have a coefficient of 2, and this y will remain with a coefficient of 2, making them the same. Okay, so that now we can go through the elimination process. Okay, so I hope you understand. So let's go ahead and multiply equation 1 by 2, okay, so that we can get the coefficient of this s and this s to be the same. I want to eliminate the s, okay, so that's why my focus is on the s, okay. So if you want to eliminate the y, I've shown you how to go about it, so it's the same process, okay. So I'm going to multiply equation 1 by 2 so that I can get the coefficient of this s to be 2, which will be the same as the coefficient of this s. Then we can go through the elimination process, okay. That's the first step, okay. Any variable that you want to eliminate, you have to make sure that their coefficients are the same before you can eliminate them, okay. So I'm going to write multiplying equation 1 by 2, okay. So multiplying equation 1 by 2, okay. So now when I pick the equation 1 is given to be s plus 2y equals to 5. So I'll multiply each term in the equation by 2, okay. Please don't make a mistake of going to multiply only the s by 2 then you leave the rest. No, it will be wrong, okay. We are multiplying each term in the equation by 2, okay. That's it. When we say we are multiplying equation 1 by 2, okay. I didn't bring my 1 here, so let me write my 1 there, okay. So equation 1 by 2, okay. So I'm multiplying my equation 1 by 2, okay. So that's what we are doing, okay. So I've explained to you that you shouldn't make a mistake of multiplying only the s here by 2 then you leave the rest. That will be wrong. We don't do it that way. We multiply each term in the equation by the 2, okay. That's how we go about it. So multiply this one by 2, this also by 2, and this also by 2, okay. And that's it about multiplying equation 1 by 2. Each term in the equation is being multiplied by 2. That's how you go about it, okay. So let's go ahead and do that. So when I multiply this s by 2, it will give me 2s. Then you bring your plus, which is here. You multiply this 2y by 2, it gives you 4y, then equals to, you multiply this 5 by 2, it gives you 10, okay. I hope you understand up to this point. So we've multiplied our equation 1 by 2, okay. So I hope the explanation is clear enough up to this point, okay. So now we label this one as equation 3, okay. So now I'm going to label this as equation 3, okay. So I'm going to label this one as equation 3, okay. So now what we do now is that we are now going to add or subtract, okay. So actually we need to subtract instead, because when we add we cannot eliminate the variables, we need to subtract, okay. So if you check, we can, now we are dealing with this equation 2 and equation 3, okay. So we multiply the equation 1 by 2 so that we can get the coefficient of the s to be the same as the coefficient of the s in the equation 2, and which we've achieved that, okay. So you can see that we are having 2s which has the coefficient to be 2, and this s also has the coefficient to be 2, okay. So now we are going to deal with the equation 2 and equation 3, and how we are going to eliminate the variable s from it is that you are going to subtract, okay, equation 2 from equation 3, or you can do equation 2 minus equation 3. Any of it, you get the same thing. Either you do equation 3 minus equation 2, or you do equation 2 minus equation 3, you get the same answer, okay. So let's go ahead and do it together, okay. So now I'm going to do equation 3 minus equation 2, okay. So I hope you understand and you agree with me up to this point, okay. So it's the elimination process that I'm showing you, okay. Now we want to eliminate s from the equation, which is the equation 2 and the equation 3. We want to eliminate s from it, okay. And for us to achieve that, we either do equation 3 minus equation 2, or you do equation 2 minus equation 3. You get the same result, okay. So I'm doing equation 3 minus equation 2, because if we subtract equation 2 from equation 3, we'll be able to eliminate the variable s from it, okay? Or you can do equation 2 minus equation 3, which will also eliminate the variable s from it. Anyways, you get the same answer. Okay, so let's go ahead. So this is my equation 3. Okay, so when I take this equation 3, I'm subtracting equation 2 from it. Okay, so we are going to subtract the like terms. Okay, so when I take this 2s here will subtract it. It is equation 3, okay, minus equation 2. Yes, it's equation 3 minus equation 2. Okay, so when I take the 2s here, it will subtract it from this 2s which is here. Okay, so the 2s minus this 2s will be 0. You can see that the s is eliminated away. Okay, so we have 0. Then we come to the y also. This 4y, we will subtract this y from it. Okay, so this 4y minus the y here will give us 3y. So I'm going to have 3y. Okay, when we did the 2s minus this 2s, it gives us 0. Okay, that's why we didn't write anything there. Okay, now we come to the y also. It is 4y here, then minus the y which is here. Okay, and it will give us 3y. We bring our equal sign, then we do our 10 minus 4, and 10 minus 4 gives us 6. Okay, so you can see that we've eliminated the variable s from the equation. Okay, so now we have only y in this equation and we can solve for the value of y. Okay, so let's go ahead and solve for the value of y by dividing through by 3. So I divide here by 3. I hope you understand and you agree with me. Okay, so it's not really clear from here, so let me continue from the other side. Okay, so let me clean this one and rewrite it. Okay, so when we subtracted, we got 3y equals to 6. Okay, so for me to get my y, I'm going to divide through by 3. Okay, so I want to continue from this side. So I have my 3y equals to 6. I'll divide here by 3 and here also by 3. This 3 and this 3 cancel. 3 goes here 1 and 3 goes here 2. Okay, so you have your y equals to 2. Okay, so we've gotten the value for y and our y equals to 2. Now we can now solve for the value of s also, because now that we have the value of y, we can go and put it into any of the equations. Okay, either equation 1, 2 or 3, so that we will get the value for s as well. Okay, I hope the explanation is clear enough up to this point. Okay, so I will choose to go and put y equals to 2 into equation 1. Okay, any of the equations that you use, you will get the same answer. Okay, or better still, you can still go through another elimination process to eliminate y, okay, from the given equation. Then you get an equation which contains only s, then you solve for the value for s. Okay, you can also do that, you get the same answer. Okay, but since we've gotten the value for y which is equal to 2, why not just go straight ahead and put it into any of the equation for us to get the value of s? Okay, so I'll put equation, this one, y is equal to 2 into equation 1. Okay, so let me write putting y equals to 2 into equation 1. Okay, I hope you understand and you agree with me. Okay, the equation 1 is given to be s plus 2y equals to 5. Okay, so wherever I see y in this equation, I'm going to put 2 there. Okay, so I'm going to have s plus 2 times 2 equals to 5. Okay, the 2 is multiplying the y, that's why you bring a bracket, then you put your value of y there, which is 2. Okay, the bracket means multiplication. Okay, so you have your s plus 4 equals to 5. Okay, then you just group like terms and solve for s. So your s will be equals to 5 minus 4, and your s will be equals to 1. Okay, so let me clean it and write it so that you can see it. Okay, so you have your s will be equals to 5 minus 4. I hope you can see clearly now. Okay, so s is equals to 5 minus 4, and that will give us our s will be equals to 1. Okay, and that is the final answer for solving for s and y in the given simultaneous equation. Okay, so let's conclude by just writing therefore our s is equals to 1 and our y is equals to 2. Okay, so that is our final answer. Okay, I hope the explanation was clear enough and you understood it as well. Please don't forget to like the video and also share the video as well. See you again in another video whilst we solve more examples on this using the elimination method. Bye bye.